What's up, everybody? Uncle David here. It's time. It's that time. Secrets of Atlas, Path of Exile content reveal. Man,
Hi,
I'm excited.
I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games. And today
Speak
we're
to
here to
me.
showcase a new expansion for PTO I. It's certainly been too long since we had one of these. Now we had some
Talk to
struggles
me.
as a studio for a little while there, but we've got our shit together and we're back in action now. Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas is coming out 1 week from now on the 13th of June. And we're committing right now to a 4-month cycle for both PTO I and 2.
4 months?
That means the next PTO II League will be in August, and the next PTO I League after that will be in October.
But
Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so you'll be able to claim your Skull of Undeath
and the other one I haven't done is making the
helmet skin by following the instructions below. This Skull of Undeath will track and show your total number of kills, deaths, and your KDR.
man. But I don't like Path of Exile 2. It's not good. So to me, it's only 3 leagues a year, and Path of Exile 2 is not good yet.
Just because Path of Exile isn't a first-person shooter doesn't mean this isn't important. Proudly or shamefully, link it to your friends or in global chat to show it off. And with that, let's get to why you're here. Secrets of the Atlas.
You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. I should know.
Strings of fate.
But now, I seek something more tangible.
It's the girl. The flowers. Follow the flowers.
Someone I care for. Trapped within the Atlas.
I forgot what her name was.
Reliving memories.
Holy crap.
Made real. What have you done? Made grotesque. Made foul.
Zana. It was Zana that was. Ew.
These manifestations must be destroyed. Their
Whoa.
threats must be eradicated.
Those turrets were in the circle.
I must have answers.
It's a skilled support gem from Path of
We
Exile
must
2.
find the originator.
Who's the originator?
We must save
The Shaper?
my sister.
His sister? Is that Mask? Tell me the secrets! New in-game mechanic? New Pinnacle boss? That thing's ugly. New crafting mechanics? Okay. Completed King's March. Runegraft? Wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. I'm so glad I didn't watch the live stream because in the YouTube video you can stop it. Runegraft of Gymcraft. It reminds me of that tower defense game, like what's it called? Gymcraft? Plus 1 to all non-exclusive support gym. Plus 1 to limited to 1 Runegraft of Gymcraft. Tattoo can be removed by using an orb. This is a tattoo? Like a King's March tattoo? Only for support gems. That's kind of weak.
Come, child. Drink deep the waters of life.
They already told us this. Boom. It returned. Do you have returning projectiles for spells now? Mercenaries of top trade with us? What is that? Is this a loadout? Yeah, it's a loadout. An armory, that's what they call it. This thing's straight ugly. It's like a centipede. I hate it.
Your sanity is not promised
Is
to
that
you
it?
here.
That's just the trailer. No, I want everything. My body's ready.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. As you
Oh,
just
it's
saw
been
from
so
the trailer,
long.
there's a lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas endgame
Yes.
update. Then, we'll explore the new Challenge League, the Mercenaries of Truth.
It's been so long since the last league that I have 300 hours of PTO saved up. Literally the maximum I can have.
After that, we'll cover the integration of gold into PTO I and how we're bringing Settlers of Calgary.
It has to go core. It's too good.
Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality of life improvements.
Quality of life is always
Then
good.
we'll wrap up by discussing our boss
Boss
kill
kill.
race event,
Man, I'm
showing
too
around our
rusty.
new supporter packs, and ending with a live Q&A
Too
session
rusty and
where
old.
Ziggy D will ask Jonathan and I your questions from Twitch chat.
Play any of these races.
In Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas, strange rifts have begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned and appears to be trapped within.
Zana.
Partway through the endgame,
Zana has never left my hideout.
you will meet Egan, an intelligent man of mysterious heritage. These tears in reality he has discovered are actually threads of memory, distorted and made real by the Atlas. Egan is able to create a link to these memory threads
Egan is like Hoyd from the Brandon Sanderson books.
and open portals to them. Working with Egan, you must step through and find Zana, or whatever remains of her.
That was one ugly little
Okay,
kid.
so that's the story background. But how does this expansion actually work? In the Secrets of the Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline that is introduced in high-tier maps. Upon meeting Egan and discovering the tier, he will then transfer it to your map device and reveal this on your atlas, a thread of memories.
It's a memory.
In order to now access each map on the thread, you simply need to talk to Egan when you're ready, and he'll open the areas in sequence. These areas can be fully influenced by your atlas tree, scarabs, fragments, and everything of the sort.
Cool.
As you work your way along the thread, you will discover that these maps have manifested dangerous threats, influenced by the memories of Zana herself. Monsters here are imbued with memory petals.
Petals? What is this,
Defeat
Diablo
them to
4?
absorb this power, which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat.
Wait, what?
Absorb this power. Monsters here are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb this power, which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat.
What?
Different
Where?
maps on the thread have different abilities, and these abilities appear on an additional mini skill bar next to your regular skills. For example, Memory of Disbelief will cause all affected monsters to stop dropping equipment items,
Wow.
meaning they can now only drop more valuable items,
Nice.
like currency and maps. Memory of Panic will make all affected monsters revive immediately after death, which means
Ooh.
you can get twice as much experience and drops from them.
Ooh.
And Memory of Impatience will cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily
Nice.
increasing your power.
Nice.
As you progress further into the thread of memories, the maps can have more than one memory, and thus you can have more than one powerful ability.
Oh, he's got all
As
three.
you gather memory petals, you can use these powers together. Each skill costs its own amount of memory petals. So using the examples above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become way more powerful, then use Memory of Panic to prepare them to revive when they are slain, then use Memory of Disbelief to cause them to drop better, more valuable items.
Nice. There's nothing here but one chaos orb. 2 chaos orbs.
Finally,
4.
obliterate them all. The Memory of Panic will kick in, causing them to revive, and then wipe them out again, allowing you to get all the experience and enhanced drops
They
twice.
still don't have a loop, like pickup vacuum.
There are many combinations of these powers, so you'll have to carefully consider how they best work together. That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer. As you defeat the boss of each map along the thread,
Future maps in the memory thread gain 200% increased quantity of pills found on rare and unique monsters in the area. Future maps in the memory thread gain 500% increased quantity of pills found on map bosses in the area.
you are presented with an
Okay.
altar. This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread, and these will stack as you go. So the deeper you delve into a memory, the more mods you will have. This, combined with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile. Let's take a look at some of the altar mods. You are always presented with 2 choices and must pick one. This mod, for example, will cause some rare monsters to be possessed by tormented spirits,
Okay.
where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft. Both of these apply to all subsequent maps in the thread.
Nice.
The final map in each thread is a true challenge, with all the altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss. Each of these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike, drawn from Zana's memories and warped by the Atlas into something very different and terrifying. In this map, you will fight the Pinnacle boss, Cirrus. Fueled by Zana's affectionate memories of him, his enhanced abilities can prove to be a unique challenge. If you manage to defeat Cirrus, or one of the other warped memory bosses, they will drop a map fragment, which Egan can use to delve deeper into the memory tears. With these, you can access a set of 3 new Pinnacle bosses.
3 Pinnacle bosses. Wow. One moment of loneliness be by using Zana personally. It can only be used once. Trauma and reverence.
In this arena, the moment of reverence, Zana is reliving a memory of her father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath. The Atlas distorts this memory of her father as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions into a twisted nightmare. The incarnation of dread. Another memory created is the incarnation of neglect and the incarnation of fear. Good luck, Exiles. Of course, if you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, each of these new Pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them. If you slay the
Starfall on melee critical strike. 2-handed axe? Man, it's 2-handed. With the extra damage of a random element. What's Starfall? That's like the
incarnation of fear.
Starfall is like the Settler's boss in the underground.
You might be lucky enough to find the Starcaller unique Abyssal Axe. We're gonna show this one because it's straight up badass. The Starcaller Axe is a weapon that can harness the power of the stars themselves to deal immense damage. What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall, a new skill. With the right build, you can carpet entire areas and wipe out screens of enemies as you rain down the elements upon them. Another item you may find...
I don't think my computer can handle that. Gets a random divination buff for 20 seconds. What's a divination buff?
And this one is my favorite, is the Wine of the Prophet unique flask. It consumes a lot of charges, but every time you use it, you draw a random divination card. This card appears above you and correlates to a powerful buff. If you draw the Escape card, you'll gain increased movement speed. Or maybe you'll draw the Doctor, which will cause you to gain the modifiers of slain rares you kill. Effectively, you can think of this unique as being many other uniques all in one.
It's fun.
There are many cards to draw, each with varying degrees of power to grant.
It looks cool.
Okay, but let's get back to the Atlas.
Originators.
After defeating all 3 new Pinnacle bosses, you'll be able to find new memory-influenced Tier 16 maps. These maps come with the previously mentioned special abilities and monsters infused with memory petals, but can also roll the same modifiers typically found on Tier 17 maps, making them far more rewarding. With all these new memory maps comes a new item mechanic. Items in these maps can drop with memory strands, and will have a random amount up to 100. This does a few things. When you identify the item, it will increase the tiers of modifiers your item has.
Wow.
Generally speaking, the more memory strands, the better the item will be. On top of this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or add modifiers, such as alterations, chaos, and so forth, it will consume some memory strands to make the crafted mods more powerful. The new Pinnacle bosses also drop new crafting currencies, which can be used to manipulate the amount of memory strands
I'm too dumb to do crafting, man.
on an item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands to any normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it.
Has 2 influences.
The Orb of Unraveling will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it can. Unraveling will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This
Randomly
before
upgrade the
base to
mod
craft.
tiers?
You add memory strands to any
Remember the number of mercenaries on normal.
normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it.
Okay.
The Orb of Unraveling
Customs only influence item to attempt to upgrade the tier of explicit based on number of mercenaries.
will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers.
So you could just buy these and then just push all your mods to T1.
This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes. The Orb of Intention can be
And memory influence amount causing items found to have more memory strands but fewer items drop.
used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops, but improve the chance to find items with memory strands. In the process of adding these new currency items, we realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own Exalted Orbs. This has now been rectified. Both bosses now have Exalted Orbs, which can add their influence to an item. Zana was there from the beginning, when the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first added.
Yep.
She helped defeat the Elder, and she was a critical part of the Conqueror's storyline. Now, with all 6 influence types having their own Exalted Orbs, the cycle is complete. It's almost as if we could now do some sort of new, epic, unique item to interact with them.
Yeah.
In other news, there of course has to
What about a Zana Exalt? Huh? Or a Kurek Exalt?
be Atlas passive tree support for this new in-game content. Let's take a look at a few things
What is
already.
that at the top?
The Grasp the Past notable passive skill increases the chance for the amount
Lucky.
of memory strands on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means it will roll the number of memory strands twice, keeping the highest value. By
Crazy.
allocating traumatic experience, remembered kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at finding the memory threads you would like to run.
It's just a waste of points.
This is especially useful if you want to target farm a specific boss because of its unique item drops. In sum, the secrets of the Atlas will have you questioning what is real, as you attempt to free Zana from warped memories scattered throughout the Atlas. You'll fight new Guardian and Pinnacle bosses tormenting her, find crazy new Pinnacle uniques, combine and unleash memory petal empowered skills, juice maps to new heights, and craft powerful new items. While we were showing all the juicy rewards from the new in-game system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping. Let's talk about that. Gold was introduced during the Settlers of Kalgur expansion. It funded the development and operations of King's March, along with various new features such as the currency exchange, the black market,
Oh, I never used this.
and the passive respec system with Faustus. Those features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other services King's March has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry, King's March has already been completed. There will be no more town building.
Thank God.
Like before, gold will be used for town services, but we're also adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league.
What about
It's
the
time
map
to talk
runners?
about Mercenaries of
What about the
Trafis.
map runners?
In
What?
this league, it's
Trek?
time to talk about Mercenaries of Trafis.
Trathus.
In this league, you will meet veterans who have travelled all the way from the lawless cities of Trafis. They're ready to offer their sinister services, but not for free. You will encounter these mercenaries as you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities and come with different builds, skills, and items already equipped. After meeting them, as per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction. Before beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of
Mercenaries.
the mercenary you've encountered.
Nice.
Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ, and any support effects augmenting those skills. You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them.
Huh.
If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast.
That's great.
Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity
Wait, did he?
to use
Did you have to kill him to
combatant
hire him?
to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast.
You
Once
did
you've
click
decided,
hire.
you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie.
Yeah.
However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using?
Portable or
Generally
a bot.
speaking, mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters,
Wow.
as they've been crafting their items too.
Why does he have
They can
chromatics
also
on the
come
side?
equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them.
Dang.
One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the
Gain arcane surgery and use movement skill. Increase the cast speed for occasion also applies to movement speed. But there's no there's no base movement speed.
mastery of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed, which is worth noting is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up from 10. They also grant Arcane Surge when you use a movement skill. This allows for some speedy spellcasters. Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous Trathan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the 4 major death trade families in Trathis. They are less common, but have far better items. And they are also
Holy
the
crap.
sole source of items with new
How much
infamous
energy?
modifiers.
How much energy shield does he
And
have?
they are also the sole source of items with new infamous modifiers,
Infamous?
unseen before in Rayclast, such as these gloves,
What?
which convert all of your minions' fire damage
Oh my god, convert 100% fire damage to chaos. That's crazy. That's great for a poison SRS.
to chaos damage. Or this helmet, which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage as you gain more fortification.
I'm not a melee player.
If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets. If you lose the duel, don't worry. You don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trathan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Rayclast tradition, so you'll just die.
Almost at me. Well, not really.
He lose XP?
What? You are bound to Rayclast tradition, so you'll just die.
Almost
He didn't even lose experience.
not really.
Alright, I'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. He
While
didn't lose
playing in a party,
experience.
each
Drac
player can decide
Gorshon.
whether or not they want to participate in combat against the mercenary. For
Do
each
you guys-
player that opts in,
Do you guys know the Gorshons from Battlefront 2 and the what's it on the Xbox 360? Thrak Gorshon, the best soldier in the Stormtrooper.
the mercenary gets more difficult.
No, Thrak Gorshon was the rebel. He was part of the rebel team, and then his brother, the other Gorshon.
But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch. Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they
Spectate.
might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
Huh?
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here,
Or a
this
bot.
mercenary is an eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused scion. This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and buffs I provided. When I'm playing a more
Wait.
buffs I provided,
He didn't get any
is
auras.
highly aggressive.
I thought he supposed to have
and will get a lot of
determination.
benefit from the auras and buffs I provided.
Where's the determination?
When I'm playing a more aggressive character myself though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a striker, who can spawn with Vigilant Strike,
He's got
and if you're
vitality.
lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to
Oh,
apply
wow.
to me as well. He will also frequently use Enduring Cry, taunting enemies off of me, and operating as a tanky frontline while I blitz off damage
Nice.
from the back.
You get fortify on the spellcaster.
Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal. For example, this sniper is using a Trathan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trathan gem as...
Is this the only way to get this, or can you get this from the lab trial? Pure 6 target increase on place range 3 to maximum sum total. Summons 4, and the ring was used as skill. Expires after attacking once, but the base what?
Promised. You can only have one mercenary accompanying you at a time.
Oh man!
But up to 3 total in your service.
But you pay for them.
The other 2 will wait patiently in town. Having varied options is useful, as there may be situations where you need
What is bloody warp? What is that? Seismic crush?
specific backup, like a difficult boss fight. Any of your mercenaries you have active, or in your reserves, can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing.
You can't?
They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the campaign and endgame.
He's got haste.
If your mercenary falls in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies.
That's over 9,000!
Then perhaps consider giving them some upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to clarify, mercenaries do not lose their equipment when defeated.
Nice.
If your merc buddy consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Dang, just kick them out.
Earlier, I mentioned you could exile mercenaries. If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras, you can then choose to exile them. If you win the duel, they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while. Now, alongside these new
What did I say? Exile for 9 encounters? Okay.
Now, alongside these new Trathan arrivals,
What happened if you exile every single person? There must be more than 9 exiles, right? Or mercenaries?
we shouldn't forget about the recent Kalguran ones too. As we mentioned earlier, the Settlers update introduced gold-based respeccing of passive points. You can now do so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestil and Lionize Watch.
Thank God.
Black market item gambling, previously just available in Kingsmarch, is now available in each town at the same NPC.
How does he have so
This
much
lets
gold?
you buy randomly generated item bases for gold. Very useful if you're stuck for upgrades or searching for a specific unique. The
That's cool.
currency exchange will be returning too. Starting from Lionize Watch in Act 6, you'll be able to find Faustus, who can
So
help facilitate
convenient.
these trades. Now, after almost a year of building, Johan is finally satisfied with the upgrades made to the town.
It took a whole year
Now
to
its
build
services
this.
can be used to their full effect. Kingsmarch is going core, but there will be no more town building.
What about the
As you
farm?
start running maps in the endgame, you'll start to find different ore veins,
Yeah, what's the
which
ore for?
Kalguran workers can mine for you. The shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops to
Okay.
Karui and Kalguran ports, and they'll return rewards in kind. By sending shipments, you'll receive different items,
Okay.
but by sending to Karui ports, you will also receive tattoos, which can be used on your passive tree to change what stats they grant. The Kalguran ports will be sending back Runegrafts, which is a new passive tree mechanic that replaces the runesmithing service previously offered.
Cancel skill to not consume a cooldown on use. It replaces a mastery. Oh my god, masteries are so useful, but now the useless masteries are all useful now. Because you get 100% chance for a skill to not consume a cooldown. That's pretty ridiculous.
by the town. These are similar to tattoos, but instead of replacing stat nodes, they replace a passive tree mastery node.
Oh, you're only limited to 1, never mind.
For example, Runegraft of the Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses gained from gloves.
But everybody wants the opposite for more move speed.
Runegraft of the River has a chance to recover your life to full if you reach low life.
Okay.
And the Runegraft of Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown.
This is
Which
pretty
I
good.
will note includes cooldowns on your triggers. just in case you wanted to trigger even more spells.
That's awesome.
There are many other Runegrafts, which cover a wide range of different builds.
Fortress, reduce attribute, increase global defense. That's useful. Increase damage for each unlinked socket and equipped two-handed weapon. Isn't that like really weak? It's 60% increased damage. Increase Warcry speed. That's useless.
And stats. Some are more common and others rarer.
The global defense is pretty ridiculous for energy shield and stuff.
You can only use one of a given type at a time, but you can use them on any mastery on your passive tree, which can be particularly useful for off-class investment. Isla has continued to make modifications to the Recombinator. She has developed a new method of recombination that you may recognize from Path of Exile 2.
A nerf?
For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which modifiers on the two input items you want to try merge together, and it has a success chance you can see. This method can result in the items being destroyed, however it is a good option to use when trying to create items with fewer mods to use as crafting projects.
Okay.
Given the existing recombinating mechanic was very powerful for top-end crafting, we didn't want to remove it. We have kept it, and you can now choose to use it the old way or the new way. By letting fate decide, it will combine the two items randomly. There is no risk of destroying either item, but it will be less predictable. As Settlers is now a core mechanic, we've
Oh my god, there's so much. I don't remember it being so cluttered.
also added Atlas passive tree support. For example,
Support?
if you wanted to gather more Verisium ore, you could take this notable. Each ore has a similar node. Refiner's Bargain converts items dropped by possessed monsters into thaumaturgic dust, sulfite into random ores, and life force into random crop.
How do you get crop randomly, naturally?
We've also added a set of Kalguran Scarabs, so you can add more ore deposits, increase the rarity of monsters that guard ore deposits to at least magic, or gather smelted bars from ore you mark instead of ores. To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a thriving town where you can employ a swath of workers to collect resources, refine ores, craft items, and run maps for you. Send shipments of resources in exchange for tattoos and runegrafts, using those to modify your passive tree to an extent never seen before. Following on from that, we've also made a substantial rework to another important
I thought you were only allowed to have one
using those to modify your
mastery
passive
tattoo.
tree to an extent never
Or,
seen before.
There's 5 in here.
Following on from that, we've also made a substantial rework to another important mechanic, betrayal. As a refresher, and to explain to new players, let's briefly explain what betrayal is. Betrayal is a mechanic introduced in Act 9 and tells the story of Jun Ortoy and her investigation of the Immortal Syndicate. This is a mysterious group of exiles who can seemingly come back from death. You must help Jun to uncover their leader, the Syndicate Mastermind. The Immortal Syndicate is organized into 4 divisions: transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover the location of their leaders, tracking them to do with intelligence on the manipulate the members of the Immortal and even banish them from the Syndicate for encountering and defeating the Syndicate Mastermind. The state of the Immortal Syndicate would reset, requiring you to start from the beginning of the investigation again. This has always been a difficult decision for players and can often feel bad. Do you fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up? Well, in the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out the Mastermind to be completely separate from the core mechanic.
Finally.
The boss is now accessible through a new fragment that has a chance to drop from the safe house leaders at high levels. The Mastermind no longer resets the state of the Immortal Syndicate.
Oh no.
You can now build your betrayal board to your liking, optimize it,
But the
do
mastermind isn't
fights,
guaranteed anymore.
and reap the rewards without having to lose all your progress every time. The boss fight itself has also been improved, now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards. By the way,
Good.
if you're a new player to Path of Exile 1, don't worry about all this detail. This content is optional and you can discover and engage with it at your own pace. The Mastermind still has a chance to drop a Veiled Orb, now renamed to Veiled Exalted Orb. Veiled Chaos Orbs are being re-added to other Safe House leaders. In addition, the Mastermind now drops the new All Flame Embers.
Flames.
All Flame Embers are map fragments that replace monster packs in in-game maps with different types of special monsters. These packs have unusual properties, compositions, or rewards. For example, you might use the All Flame Ember of Kulamak, which replaces packs with syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying due to backtracking, but these monsters when revived are far more intense and rewarding. It is our intention with All Flames to provide many different types that combine with other mechanics, multiplying with your existing modifiers in new and interesting ways. Another good example of this is the All Flame Ember of Propagation. When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here will spread their modifiers to other rare monsters in the map. This can be useful when trying to create singular, very powerful, and very rewarding monsters. Something akin to meat sacks, which are making a reinvented comeback with this update too.
Meat sack.
Another is the All Flame Ember of Resplendence, which adds monsters that drop no items, but when you slay them, you get buff stacks of increased quantity and rarity to enhance the drops of all other monsters. All Flame Embers can be placed in your map device like scarabs, and used in conjunction with scarabs to further customize your maps. We're looking forward to seeing which combinations players find to enhance their maps. Perhaps you'll use all scarabs, all flames, or maybe mix and match. It's up to you. The Mastermind's unique items have also been improved. The veiled modifiers generated on these items are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques. Bitter Bind Point, for example.
What? +1 Spectre. Fire 2 additional projectiles. That's ridiculous. Which Spectre uses projectile? That is crazy.
Can now have various Spectre-specific outcomes, such as +1 additional Spectre.
Wow.
Aside from improved rewards from the Mastermind,
What is that?
all the Safe House rewards have also been rebalanced. We've done a pass on the crafting sprees at the end of many Safe Houses. For those who aren't aware how these crafting sprees work, well, it's simple. There's a crafting bench with an item in it, and a bunch of currency. There's a limited amount of time, and your only objective is to craft the best item possible before the time ends.
Nice.
One of the problems that the crafting sprees have is that they often require you to have specific items on hand in order to best maximize your result. But how are you supposed to know that beforehand? In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This has also allowed us to add much more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring will be waiting for you. Test your crafting skill or luck with this Reflecting Mist crafting spree.
Why can't we put a
and see if
Reflecting
you
Mist
can
in there?
create something worthy of Kalandra's praise.
You get 2 items.
And in this spree, you will find a pre-generated unique item and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb, but not quite the same. And a new kind of orb that resembles
Corrupts a unique item modifying amplitude can modify for the items. Items code display can have up to M2 implicit. That's just a double Val. Can modify corrupted items.
a Val orb, but not quite the same. Normally you can only corrupt an item once, but uniques in this spree can be corrupted and re-corrupted as many times as there are orbs. This orb also allows you to get 2 corrupted implicits, and has a much lower chance to brick the item. It can be a very useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course, if you push your luck, you can still ruin the item. There are also crafting sprees where you still need to provide an item, but those items are generally more accessible and it occurs less frequently. This one allows you to bring your own normal rarity item, then just go ballistic with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance, hoping to get your ideal unique. For most sprees, the rank of the syndicate member increases the amount of currency provided, the quality of the pre-generated items, and the time allowed to craft your item. Aside from the crafting sprees, there are other new options.
That's a good way to get 6 links early.
Too. If you love gambling for currency, how about you try opening Varici's Emperor's Luck chests? These work just like the Emperor's Luck divination card and provide full stacks of currency. If you're lucky enough, unlike me, you could end up with a whole lot of divines. Betrayal is a good source of veiled item.
Somebody's gonna get a full stack of mirrors. Is mirrors just a stack of 1 or what? Maybe it's a stack of 10. Somebody's gonna get a stack of 10 mirrors.
Veiled items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too. All of the crafting bench options normally granted by unveiling items are instead now moved to the core game, so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock them. They are instead found at the entrances to boss rooms and in-game maps. On top of that, you no longer need to speak to Jun to unveil items. You can just right-click them, or the equivalent on gamepad, and select which veiled modifier you want to unveil. Overall, Betrayal is now much more streamlined and more rewarding. Happy interrogations.
Yeah.
Now before we get into our quality of life additions, let's quickly talk about some character balance.
Still going? Oh my god.
We will be doing our regular character balance changes where we are bringing outliers in line to help evolve the meta, but we are also focusing our attention on buffing some specific things. This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells, adding new options to enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells.
It's stronger. Effectiveness is stronger. Increased duration is longer. Wait. More projectile frequency is decreased. Increased projectile frequency proceeds. This one's decreased. While channeling. It makes it much better clearing than bossing. Wait.
Adding new options specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled.
There's only 8 stages instead of 10.
Spells. Adding new options to the Guardian, Berserker.
Guardian is never gonna be good. Every 10 seconds.
Elementalist, Saboteur, and Champion Ascendancy classes, which include.
Wow. Chance to return to you. Why is this on the Saboteur instead of the Deadeye?
Include some favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of Frisia, and buffing a whole bunch of transfigured.
It's about the same. It has 5% more damage per blade vortex. That's ridiculous. And the increased range is probably the best.
Gems that never really hit them.
It's got more area when detonated. I see.
Combined with the new endgame crafting, improved betrayal crafting options, runegrafts for your passive tree, new Pinnacle unique items, new modifiers and Trathan gems from the Mercenaries, and of course the Mercenaries themselves to act as an extension to your character, it's safe to say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think about. Instead of delving into all of these in more detail, we figured we'd just let you absorb them through the patch notes so you can do it at your own pace. In the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for. A lot of these have already been posted, but let's take a look now in case you missed any. You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu.
Nice.
Or by opening any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arena.
What do you mean when you pause when every time lag is detected? My game lags 100% of the time when I play.
A debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're also making a change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences. Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the strongbox, these buttons will appear. Valuable currency like divine orbs have been excluded from this as it would often be wasteful to use in this context. The same applies to essences with the remnant of corruption currency. Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now reroll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps.
Nice.
Doing so will reroll the base map and the Guardian of that map. The map device now has a small additional inventory. This is particularly useful if you're rolling many maps to run in sequence, or if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs or other map fragments. During breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach.
So convenient.
On gamepads, we have separate...
Maybe I actually do breach now. That one change is the reason why I never did breach, because I didn't want to pick up all those pennies.
The targeting of monsters and non-monsters, so you are able to target them independently. This removes a bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby. You no longer have to kill all of them first. Vendor windows will now remember your last search. This is remembered until you log out, and the search field has also been increased.
Nice.
When using
250.
currency items, after right-clicking them, it will highlight all other items which that currency can be used on. There are many other quality of life improvements, so keep an eye on the patch notes after this livestream concludes. Alongside the launch of Secrets of the Atlas, we are hosting a competitive event where players will race to be the first to kill the new Pinnacle bosses. The event will take place in the hardcore, solo self-found Mercenaries of Trathis League. We have some interesting prizes in store for the winners. Keep an eye on the news in the lead up to launch.
Wait, is the league called Mercenary of Trathis? That's the league mechanic?
For more details about how the event will work and
I thought it was Secrets of the Atlas.
what its prizes are. Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs. Today, we're launching two new series of supporter packs, the Frisian Magistrate and Crypt Keeper packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Frisian Magistrate series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Frisian Magistrate character effect will bind your character in thorny vines and roses. You can select which parts of the character you want to have covered.
Meh.
Either your entire body, your lower body, or your upper body. As you
Not
approach
impressed.
waypoints, it will emit leaves and golden petals towards it.
That's
When activating
better.
the waypoint, it will create a burst around you. Envelop your weapon in thorny vines and golden flora with the Frisian Magistrate weapon effect. Your weapon will also create a trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies. You are the law while wearing the armor of the powerful Frisian Grand Magistrate. The Spider Blossom pet activates its defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near rare or unique enemies.
Okay.
The Frisian Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2 forms. Equip either the Tombstone variant, which will leave tombstones in your honor when you meet your demise, or equip the Cape variant to cause the corpses of slain enemies to become enveloped in rosethorn vines and blossom with golden flowers.
You can barely see that.
Keep track of how well, or poorly, your ultimatums with the Trial Master have gone with the Trials of Chaos Hideout decoration. It will keep track of the total number of waves completed, the total number of ultimatums succeeded, or even failed. On top of that, it will track the total number of times you've defeated the Trial Master himself. The Crypt Keeper pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. With the Crypt Keeper finisher effect, death itself will tear through into the realm of the living and steal the soul of slain unique enemies. The Crypt Keeper portal effect creates a gateway for lost souls to pass through. Become the true master of the undead by wearing the hallowed Crypt Keeper armor set. It comes with a more armored helmet variant and a creepy mask with a spectral hood. Looking to have some fun during idle time in your hideout? The Burrowing Bramble Bash hideout decoration will test your reaction speed, as you try to whack as many Devourer heads as possible in the shortest time. It also comes with a scoreboard, so you can try to set new records to show off to your friends, or just visitors coming to trade. Equip yourself with the Ghostly Dead as you ride the line between the living and the dead with the Sacred Crypt Keeper back attachment. The Sacred Archives map device resembles a magical library with the works of scholars that come to life when you open a map. This map device tracks how many of each core league you've completed in in-game maps.
Wow.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile, Mercenaries of Trathus. Additionally, any microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Mercenaries of Trathus League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Additionally, the Dawn of the Hunt mystery box will be made available for Path of Exile 1. If you have already unlocked any microtransactions from this box in Path of Exile 2, you will of course immediately have access to them in Path of Exile 1. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Oh my god, that took forever. I don't care about microtransactions, man. I just want to play the game. It's pretty good. It's pretty hype. I don't even care, man. You get Mercenaries. That's great. What else do you put in? Zana's back. Mercenaries. Oh my god, the 3 new Pinnacle boss.
In this league,
So this Mercenaries of Trathus is like the league name with the Mercenaries. Nice. Settlers going core, betrayal revamp is pretty cool. Yeah, it's great. I think it's gonna be great. You can have your own Mercenaries finally. All right, I'm gonna go see. I'm so tired. See y'all.